He carried a crown of thorns. The soldier's logic had a brutal simplicity, a cruel schoolboy logic. He said he was a king, so dress him up as one. A purple robe, some twisted thorn, a makeshift crown, the barbed wire of the bush. Harvest it gingerly, stack him up, salute him, stretch him, strike him, scratch him, scar him, skewer him, scoff and mock him. And afterwards, the grazed hands of the harvesters plunged into basins of cool water for relief, and smiling at each other wink and reminisce a cracking good joke. They made him a kind of pantomime king, something to laugh at, something to scorn. They bowed before him and grinning they worshipped him, and then they beat him, and they made fun of him in the way that bullies easily do when there's someone defenceless in their midst. Someone who wouldn't fight back, someone who's a bit different, someone who makes claims that are easy to mock, and his silence convicts him. Well, that's how they see it, a loser. And lest we start imagining how we would have been so different, let's be honest about the bully inside. How easy it is to make fun of others, to laugh at someone else's downfall, the joy of immunity, the solidarity of the pack, the savage delights of the kill. Remember the butchery of the playground, the cutting word that split so deep, the carefully rehearsed put down, the thoughtless slur? They wanted him put in his place, but they didn't know where his place was. Not of this world, they had heard him say. Well, this was one dreamer they would haul back down to earth. And where were his followers? Abandoned him, every one of them. A king? Indeed. They would show him. They would do him honour. They would make him a crown. And so Jesus is unwound. Adorned with thorns he wears the crown. And that which was meant to mock reveals the deepest truth. The joke backfires. He is a king, a piercing beam of light for all the world, the very one that all Israel had been hoping for, waiting for, the one to whom all their scriptures and their prophets point. But they don't see it. They laugh out loud instead. And we would have done the same. Even those who had caught a glimpse of who he is are now cowering in fear, hanging on to their own lives and reputations, getting ready to go back to how it was before him. And there is a further twist. Those he has come to save now hurry to get a better view of his dying, sneering at his stupidity. What sort of a king is this? Even as he hangs there, the life draining out of him, the taunts come thick and fast. He saved others, but he cannot save himself. Even one of the criminals crucified with him joins in the fun. Save yourselves, and us as well, he scoffs. And in his heart, though no longer on his lips, he carries the words that will get him through the next few hours. My kingdom is not from this world. If my kingdom were from this world, my followers would be fighting to keep me from being handed over. But as it is, my kingdom is not from here. So you are a king, the words of Pilate beat against him. For this I was born, and for this I came into the world, to testify to the truth. Everyone who belongs to the truth listens to my voice. And behind this, the agony of vocation. Father, if it is possible, take this cup away from me. But there is no other way. All the supports have been removed. This is the cup that must be drained to the dregs. He stands at the point of terrible isolation. Behind him, the baying of the mob. Ahead of him, only wood and twisted thorn. The wood he carries is the sign of his inclusive participation in the suffering of the world. The thorn is a sign that he is what he is, the Messiah of God, and that God's redeeming will be accomplished in the bloody horror of his dying. Not that God gains any pleasure from his death. This is not some ghastly bargain being brokered in pain. Both God and man are forsaken in this emptying out of love. The thorns press harder. Blood pumps from the punctured skin, oozes, clots in the heat and the sweat, and then flows again. He is faint. His hands are shaking. He slips and falls again, out of reach, utterly alone. The Godhead, which is fully alive in Jesus, the crucified, is poured into the lap of uncomprehending humanity. These are the truths the thorns reveal. All our deaths, and all our sorrows, and all our failures are nailed to this tree. This is our half of the cross. We die with him because he chose to die with us. The darkness beckons. The flies buzz around his face. Still the crowds taunt. Let the Messiah, the King of Israel, come down from the cross so that we may see and believe. But how could he come down? The cross that he carries is his throne. He is reigning from the tree.